Our top story today, another Montanan has passed away from COVID-19 related complications, bringing the total to 6 deaths in the state. The most recent case confirmed by Missoula County health officials today. The 5 other deaths have been in Toole, Lincoln, and Madison counties. As of tonight, health leaders are reporting 281 confirmed cases and 24 COVID-related hospitalizations. On Tuesday, Governor Bullock said 32 patients had recovered. No new numbers have been released since then. Now here at home, Cascade County continues to sit at 11 cases. Lewis and Clark County reporting another new case today, bringing their total to 14 as of this evening. And Toole County officials confirmed another three cases from Friday, bringing the total to 15 cases. And staying north in an area hit hard by the pandemic in Shelby, Toole County officials have seen 3 of the 6 coronavirus-related deaths in the state. In a release today, officials say confirmed cases have been associated to local health care entities. Now, MTN News is learning more about recent cases reported by Toole County officials. In a release to Facebook March 26th, the Mariah's Medical Center in Shelby said one of the residents of the Mariah's Heritage Center tested positive for coronavirus. The next day, they said some of the positive COVID-19 tests were employees of the 38 apartment state licensed facility. The release also stated the situation exposed others to COVID-19, and they expected there could have been more positive cases. A joint information center is being formed to provide a central point of contact in Toole County that should be up and running by Monday. And in news around the nation today, the U.S. death toll from the coronavirus has passed the 8,000 mark, with close to half that number in New York State. And another cruise ship hit hard by the virus has arrived in port in Florida. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest.
The Coral Princess became the latest cruise ship to dock in South Florida after a deadly voyage, with several passengers and crew members testing positive for the coronavirus. 2 people died before the ship arrived in Miami on Saturday. As the coronavirus continues to spread across the U.S., New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says more people in his state are testing positive, while the death toll rises.
By the numbers, we're not yet at the apex. We're getting closer.
Cuomo says New York is receiving 1,000 desperately needed ventilators from China and more than 100 from Oregon. President Trump says the federal government is distributing supplies where they're most needed, while acknowledging the destructiveness of the coronavirus.
This will be probably the toughest week between this week and next week, and there'll be a lot of death, unfortunately, but a lot less death than if this wasn't done, but there will be death.
Members of the White House task force stressed that there's no better way to slow the spread than social distancing.
This is the moment to not be going to the grocery store, not going to the pharmacy, but doing everything you can to keep your family and your friends safe.
On Saturday, Alabama became the latest state to put stay-at-home orders into effect. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Let's get a check of the forecast now. Storm Tracker forecaster Russ Thomas joins us with more.
Falls, Helena, and really much of the state. We saw a lot of sunshine, especially earlier in the day. Clouds creeping in a little bit later on this evening. I do think we're going to see a mostly cloudy sky overnight with an opportunity for a few snowflakes, especially toward the morning hours. As far as our temperatures go right now, they were cooler than normal by quite a bit. In fact, well below the norm all across the state today for those highs. We continue to see cool numbers this evening. Right now, 30 in Great Falls, 34 degrees in Helena, 37 Bozeman. You see 20s along the High Line, Cut Bank at 27, Havre 26, Glasgow coming in at 27 degrees, and we're looking at mid-30s as we look at what's going on in western Montana. It includes 33 Sealy, 30 in Phillipsburg, 34 Sula, and about 40 degrees. That's a warm spot there in Pulse. Now, coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk about a forecast that will include warmer temperatures and sunshine with just a slim chance of a shower. We'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Russ. We'll check back in with you soon. And a heads up for those here in Great Falls, MTN News has learned that paratransit services through the district are canceled until further notice. The decision was made to keep both the public and employees healthy. United Way of Cascade County is now working with several other organizations in the community to provide funding for blacked out 406 taxi to transport people who relied on the services. People can call Blacked Out directly if they need to take any medical, pharmaceutical, or essential trips. Those include, but are not limited to, treatment at healthcare facilities, getting prescriptions filled, and grocery shopping. The funding came from United Way's COVID-19 Response Recovery Fund, which President Gary Owen says is a perfect example of always being prepared for anything.
The paratransit situation, I think, is a perfect example of something we hadn't anticipated, but because we had those resources available, we were able to step up and help meet that need on an almost immediate situation.
Now, this program is only for people who use paratransit services from the Great Falls Transit District. Prior to the change, you can call Blacked Out 406 Taxi directly if you need a ride. Now, the taxi and limousine service is taking extra precautions to take care of those who do need that ride. They tell MTN News workers are social distancing the best way that they can, with drivers limiting seating options. They're wearing masks and gloves and sanitizing every time a passenger enters or exits their vehicle. They now have options for delivering food. We have all those details on our websites. And staying in Cascade County, we continue to learn more about COVID-19 restrictions and how they may affect daily routines. This comes after agencies here in Cascade County held a news conference last Friday around the changes. Great Falls Police shared a message this Friday or yesterday after questions from the public around citations for being out in the public under recent restrictions arose. Officials said they will not be out stopping those walking or driving, but may approach large groups to educate them about the stay-at-home order. They will be forwarding complaints of businesses operating outside of the essential business order to the City County Health Department for further investigation. And although times are dark, there's a little color that will soon be coming to the Electric City. The popular food truck Purple Gold is making its return next week. The truck will be rolling out next Tuesday or Wednesday, but the official date and location are still to be determined. While Purple Gold offered both bowls and waffles last season, they're going to sell solely acai bowls for the time being. In addition to a new focus, Purple Gold also has a new website for customers to access their menu. Although many businesses are choosing to close at this time, co-owner Ashley Smith explained that their to-go model encouraged her and her husband to reopen early. Purple Gold plans to follow a 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. schedule for their upcoming season, but will be changing locations weekly. You can head to our website to find out where the food truck is headed next. And in a time when everyone is asked to stay home, opening a new business might seem like a difficult task. But that's not stopping one business owner in Choteau from realizing her dream. MTN's Matt Holzaffel has more.
Jamie Foster might have had second thoughts.
I initially was like, boy, what am I, crazy? I'm going to start a business in the midst of all of this.
But that hasn't stopped her.
We're getting our orders in now. I'm having some issues with vendors. Not a lot. It's just that they're not taking on a lot of new accounts, a lot of them.
It hasn't come easy. As you might expect, opening a new business during a global pandemic comes with some challenges.
The biggest thing is, especially being out in rural Montana, we don't have a lot of access to, like going to Walmart or Sam Club or anything. So everything has to be either shipped in or we have to go out and get it. And the shipping in is becoming an issue.
The key to making it during this time? Staying flexible. She's adjusted her staff, hours, and
Mondays I'm going to do private shopping times. So anybody that doesn't want to come in during normal business hours can just come in and be the only person in the store.
When Foster's Pharmacy opens on April 7th, it will be the realization of a lifelong dream for Jamie.
I've always wanted to own my own business, and I always thought it would be a pharmacy. Being in retail pharmacies and specifically small town pharmacies across Montana, I always wanted to own this one in Choteau, but it just never came up. And the last couple years through my own health journey, I've steered away towards traditional medicine and gone more holistic and natural. And that's what I've been doing the last couple years, is researching natural pharmacy and whole foods and nutrition. So that's my passion now. So that's where I really want to do this.
In Choteau, Matt Holzaffel, MTN News.
Thanks, Matt. And you may have noticed some new changes in place while grabbing groceries today. Walmart began limiting the number of customers allowed in the store to shop starting this morning. The change applies to all Walmart stores, who will be metering the number of people allowed inside the store. Customers will be admitted one by one at a single entrance, typically on the grocery side at supercenters. Associates will allow 5 customers inside per 1,000 square feet of store space, which is about 20% of the store's usual usual capacity. Once that capacity has been reached, customers will be asked to stand in lines outside of the store at a distance of 6 feet apart. All aisles will be marked as one way to limit contact between customers.
Hi, I'm Polly Fast and I'm 2.
The time is 10:12, and just ahead, meet one of the many individuals at high risk for COVID-19, why her parents say precautions are so important during a pandemic. Next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's News Leader.
And welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 10:16 on this Saturday morning. And first in our health headlines, with all the news around protecting ourselves and others, we wanted to see just how easy it is to make a mask at home. So we put MTN's Mitch Laggy to the task.
With new recommendations out from the CDC saying that people should be wearing cloth masks anytime they go out in public, I found that it's pretty easy to make one at home. All you need is a pair of scissors and an old t-shirt. Here's the mask that I'll be making. No sewing involved. To start, lay the t-shirt flat and cut horizontally through both layers. You should have a loop of fabric when you're done. Next, we'll make the straps. Lay the loop flat and cut the rectangle through one end. When you're done, it should look like this. Then, cut the loops to make your straps. After that, you're basically done. Now, my mask ended up a little bit too big because I used an extra large t-shirt, but that's no problem. I'll trim it right up. After a few more cuts to make the mask smaller, it's ready for a test fit and a tie-up. Not too bad, right? I think it turned out pretty well. Now, the CDC recommends that you wash these masks frequently, and you can use a washing machine to do so. Now, remember, the masks are not meant to supersede any social distancing procedures already in place. Reporting at home in Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
And with coronavirus concerns swirling around every subject these days, many are wondering how safe postage and packing is during a pandemic. The World Health Organization says COVID-19 cannot stay long on objects such as letters or packages. The need for fast and sanitary deliveries has never been higher, with more than 80 million Americans ordered to shelter at home to help stop the spread of the virus. Here in Great Falls, local officials say they're doing their part to step up. UPS officials in Great Falls said some of the biggest items they have seen shipped off is toilet paper, hand sanitizer, diapers, and this is all due to the lack of supplies in other cities. And with so many people unemployed due to the COVID-19 outbreak, many consider themselves lucky to still have a job. But in a household with one or more members who are at high risk of complications from COVID-19, coming home after work can be extremely stressful for the ones who care about them. MTN's Lauren Heiser spoke with one family battling that fear every day.
Hi, I'm Charlie Fast and I'm 3.
Charlie, Bailey, and their mother Megan have been in self-isolation since the 14th of March, mainly because Charlie has severe asthma and has been hospitalized in the past for being in respiratory distress.
We just hit a little bit ago a year of not doing hospital visits, so we don't plan on going back to the hospital anytime soon.
Megan has taken time away from running her own business during the outbreak to stay home with the girls while her husband goes to work. Though the couple says they feel very lucky that Matt still has a stable job, they worry about bringing the virus home to their kids.
And it's just a constant worry that, my baby could be rushed to the hospital by herself. It's an emotional thought that she could get sick and I wouldn't be able to be by her side during that time.
Dr. Ronald Black is a family practice physician, hospitalist, and an emergency room physician.
It turns out to keep this virus out of your home is we think is pretty easy.
Dr. Black had several recommendations. When you arrive at home, go straight to an area where you can change out of your clothes, put them in the wash, and then jump immediately into the shower. He says to brush your teeth, wipe down surfaces, and then and only then can you interact with your family. The Pfaff family is already practicing these methods. While they wait patiently in isolation, Charlie's big sister Bailey has a message she wants to share.
Stay home and stay safe.
In Missoula, Lauren Heiser, MTN News.
And welcome back. We had a wonderful Saturday. Not a bad day at all. Much of the state seeing sunshine, or at least mostly sunny conditions. A few dealing with a little bit more clouds. Now this shot will be a little shameless here. I actually took this one yesterday evening in Missoula. Just thought this was so pretty. Happened to just catch it as I was driving. So I pulled over and I got out and got this shot. Love the sunshine coming through. And you can see that rain, that snow falling down in waves there in front of the higher elevations. One more photo. Shelly Johnson, this taken in Seeley Lake. And again, a great finish to what was a mostly cloudy day in the Seeley Lake area. But again, a lot of folks getting sunshine as we look at what's going on right now. Doppler network, you can see rain along the Gulf Coast there, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, getting rain with a few lightning strikes. Also a couple rain showers up in the Great Lakes region. Then we look off here to our west. We look at Washington. We're looking also at Oregon, and even now into southern Idaho, we do have some showers. These showers are going to push their way north during the overnight hours and early morning on Sunday. Could see a few snowflakes. Bitterroot Valley, Missoula Valley, and then spreading out toward Helena and Great Falls. A little better chance tomorrow in northwest Montana. But again, here right now around the state, things are dry, quiet in many areas. Got to see that sunset, I should say, before clouds started to spread in from the south. And that's where we're sitting right now. Most of the state is getting at least a thin cloud cover. Clouds will thicken up overnight in many areas. Our current temperatures, again, these numbers are below normal, especially what we saw today. Afternoon high temperatures were 10, 15, in some areas 18 degrees below the norm for this time of year. That is going to change. We're going to see a shift in our weather patterns, starting to warm things up. Western Montana looking at mid-30s, even a couple low 40s out there. Winds, again, we've got winds out of winds out of the northeast at about 20 miles per hour in Great Falls. 13 Cutbank, only 4 winds 4 miles per hour in Helena out of the southwest. Temperature change over the last 24 hours, really not much of a change. A little cooler this evening in Great Falls than yesterday at this time, a little warmer in Helena. Overnight lows tonight, we're looking at a lot of low 30s. So what we're seeing right now is numbers that are already in this range. They're going to hold steady once the clouds thicken up across the state. So overnight lows, not too far from where we're sitting right now. Here's what we've got for you again. Looking at a partly to mostly cloudy sky. 29 Great Falls, 29 in Augusta. Looking at lows a little bit more chilly there in southwest Montana. Future track heading into our day tomorrow. You can see again the bulk of the moisture stays in Idaho, but a few snowflakes spreading as far off to the west, or to the east I should say, as Great Falls. Most of it staying though in western Montana and areas west. Once we get into the daytime hours tomorrow, we're going to see sunshine, some more than others. I think basically Great Falls, Bozeman, east, we're going to see a mostly sunny day. You start heading west, we'll get more of the way of partly to mostly cloudy conditions. 3-day forecast for Great Falls: 52 Sunday, 58 on Monday, 57 tomorrow in Helena. Future track as we head into your Monday, chance for a few showers throughout the daytime hours. Then we really start to clear out, leaving a nice forecast. Looking ahead, 58 Monday and Tuesday, partly cloudy, a little cooler 44 Wednesday, but then we're back in the mid to upper 50s Thursday, Friday in Great Falls. For Helena, 57, 58, 59, a little cooler Wednesday, but then sunny upper 50s, lower 60s Thursday and Friday.
Thanks, Russ. And with schools empty, students, teachers, and principal all say something that's usually kept on the down low. MTN's Cody Boyer shows us how principals are brightening the mood by busting a move.
With schools closed and many students across the valley doing their work from home, well, as you can see, these schools are laying empty. So a series of principals came up with an idea, which you're just going to have to see to believe.
It's a way to lighten the mood and bring a smile to somebody's face.
For 28 years, Belgrade High Principal Paul Lamb says he saw hundreds of students fill his hallways. Now, sitting with me through a video, he sits in a very empty place.
I know everybody in the whole state is feeling it and the whole nation is feeling it.
Then an idea.
It all started when Eric Fisher at Manhattan posted his video.
It's a video unlike anything the halls of Manhattan High had ever seen.
I got this feeling inside my bones.
Dancing is not my specialty, and it was tough for me to get out there and do it.
Regardless of that, Paul Lamb found sunglasses and a candlestick.
Let's go.
Just take those old records on the shelf. Risky business one kind of clicked, and I kind of thought that was something that I could do.
He definitely did.
You used your space. You used all your space.
My only theater background is I was the Grinch back in 4th grade.
From the kicks to the popped collar, Lamb even cleaned up afterward. And when you go all in, Lamb says he was sure not to be all alone. Three Forks Superintendent Jeff Elliott posted his own video.
You're all I ever wanted. You're all I ever needed. Yeah.
It's all about trying to keep the students connected, trying to put things out there that will lighten the mood during this tough time.
So the space may be empty, but not really. Lamb says when students come back, he might just do the dance in person.
This is just one way that we can put a smile on their face for a few minutes.
In Belgrade, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Amazing. The time is 10:28, and just ahead, a Lewistown runner is putting his best foot forward despite COVID-19 concerns. We catch up with a Central Montana athlete next.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KXLH, Montana's news leader.
And good evening. The time now is 10:28 on this Saturday night. And one thing that actually can continue in the sports world during the COVID-19 pandemic is high school athletes signing to continue their athletic careers in college. Now one of Central Montana's best distance runners is on his way. Lewistown Sam Fulbright won the Class A Boys Cross Country Championship last fall. Now he's taking his talents to Moscow to run for the University of Idaho after officially signing with the Vandals on Friday. Fulbright figured to be a favorite for multiple state titles in track this spring. He says he's disappointed his senior track season is on hold, but he's still training hard, knowing that there will be something for him after all. We have more from him on our websites. Due to social distancing requirements, this year's special torch run for Special Olympics Montana will take on a whole new look. Participants will still collectively complete the 2,200 miles they do each year, only this time while observing social distancing rules. That means taking private trails or logging miles at home. So far, Montana law enforcement has logged over 300 miles just 2 weeks into their 2-month challenge. Montana runners have a goal of raising $80,000 for Special Olympics Montana.
At the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on Montana's news leader.
And welcome back to the 10 o'clock news. In news around the state, Mother Nature is still swinging ahead of winter amidst these unusual times. Winston Greeley has more.
Have you seen or heard a red-winged blackbird this year? To me, the harbinger of spring and all the good things yet to come. How about sandhill cranes or snow geese flying by? A nod that summer is nearby. In these abnormal times, you can still find normal outside. Have you seen the year's first blooming flower? How about the first green up and all the deer and elk it brings with it? Did you know bears are awakening without a clue that a human crisis looms? As the ice melts and waters flow, trout begin heading upstream to plant their seed for more trout another day. A turkey's gobble can remind us that a delicious meal still waits for friends and family. You see, in Montana, the outdoors is close at hand, and we can see the natural world continues on. And it's going to be okay. I'm Winston Greeley, and from everybody at Fish, Wildlife, and Parks, we want to remind you, in Montana, the outside is in us all.
And Great Falls resident Rick Walter stumbled upon this field filled with snow geese. Walter took a drive on Thursday with his wife and dogs to get some fresh air. And that's all the time we have on the 10 o'clock news. Thanks for making us a part of your night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow at 5:30. And as always, you can stay up to date with the latest news and weather on our websites and the apps. Have a great rest of your night. Stay healthy.